Coming up on the Suze Orman Show, why I am fixated on variable annuities and what you need to know about them. Also, can somebody just tell me why banks? Why are you forcing people to walk away from houses when they are willing to do short sales? Have you all just lost your minds? And you ask me, can I afford it?
I'd like to buy the Google Android tablet. It's $100.
And Joe, how old are you?
I'm 12.
What's prevented you from buying it as soon as you knew you wanted it?
Well, I had to save up.
I'm loving you, boyfriend. Hi, everybody. I'm Suze Orman, and you are watching the Suze Orman Show. Now, tonight, I want to talk to you because I'm a little upset. Actually, I'm a little irritated. Even I'm going to say it, I'm a lot perturbed. Why? I have noticed lately that we are getting many emails, and many of you are asking me this question. My advisor has been telling me that within my retirement accounts, I should be purchasing a variable annuity because it will guarantee me 5%, 6%. Susie, is this a good idea? Well, let me just start by saying, if that's what's happening out there, there is more than meets the eye when it comes to variable annuities. I haven't liked variable annuities from the day one I started the Suze Orman Show years and years ago. And when times start to get rough, the markets are going up, the markets are going down. All of a sudden, variable annuities start becoming very popular again because they're sold to you under the pretense you will never get less than what you originally put in. Now, that is true, but you have to die for that to be true. A variable annuity is a contract with an insurance company. Within the insurance company and within this contract, you will buy mutual funds. They vary. They go up, they go down. Because it's a contract with an insurance company, there is an owner and then there is an annuitant, somebody who's insured. If the insured dies, then the contract guarantees to pay you what that contract is worth at the time that you die, or at least 100% of what you put into the contract if that isn't what the contract is worth when you die. Now, to do that, you have to pay a mortality charge. It is usually 1.3% for every 1,000 that you put in there. You are paying for that insurance. They're not just giving you that because they're nice, and you have to die for that to be true. I don't want you to put money in something that you have to die to get it back to where it should be. I want your money to be working for you in every possible way. It makes no sense to put a variable annuity within a retirement account, because a retirement account, the money that's in there, you do not pay taxes on that while the money is in there. A variable annuity, you don't pay taxes while the money is in there. It makes no sense to put a tax-deferred investment in a tax-deferred vehicle. You're just paying double fees. It's nuts. So let's get it straight. If somebody wants to take your money that's in a retirement account and put it in a variable annuity, you are simply to remember me tonight, over all these years, saying, what are you thinking? You are not to do that. Do you hear me? You are far better off within your retirement accounts to do what? Buy individual stocks that give you a good dividend yield, if you know which ones those are. Exchange-traded funds that give you good dividends. You could buy CDs. You could buy a little gold. You can do so many things today within a retirement account. Why would you want to buy a variable annuity? Why does your financial advisor want to sell you a variable annuity? Oh, I can tell you. In most cases, not all, they will make a 4, 5, 6, 7% commission on the amount of money that they are investing for you. Now, let me just say this. There are many, many, many financial advisors out there that are worth their weight in gold. They're fabulous. And if you find one, you are more lucky than you have any idea. How would you know that you haven't found one of those? If they offer to put your retirement money in a variable annuity. Got it? Uh-huh. Valerie in South Dakota, you have something on your mind tonight?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
What is it?
Well, my husband and I are retired. I have adult children from a first marriage, and I, thankfully, learned the value of saving from my current husband, but my kids have not. They're irresponsible with poor money habits, and my husband keeps them at bay for me. My fear is that if anything happens to him, my kids will descend upon me like a pack of hyenas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared. I won't have the support to stand in my truth and say no to them.
Valerie,
what do?
Do you really think that the strength that you have in you right now to say no to them and everything simply resides in your husband? Do you think when you look at yourself in the mirror that you are just this powerless, weak person that cannot exist without your husband? Because if that is true, just listen to me for 1 second here. The problem isn't going to be your kids coming at you for this money. It's going to be, what is Valerie going to do on her own? How is she going to make it without this man holding her up? How are you going to make the decisions of what to buy, what to sell, what to invest in? Because it's not just that your kids will come after you. Financial advisors, other insurance agents, whoever it may be will go, oh, here's a woman with money, let's get at her. What is keeping you from being as strong as a woman as you are meant to be with or without your husband? What is that?
Well, to be honest, I've never been on my own before, and it scares me.
What's the hardest thing you ever had to do in your life?
Raise 2 children on my own.
Mm-hmm. You raised 2 children on your own, and you think you're not a strong woman? Are you kidding me? Really, I want you to think about what you just said. I don't know how 2 people raise a child, let alone one person raising 2 children. They have to work, they have to make money, they have to do all this stuff and take care of the kids. There is nothing stronger than a person, whether it's a woman or man, that does that. You need to stop selling yourself short. You need to stop thinking that when you lose your husband, everything's going to end. No. He loves you. Others love you. You just need to love yourself. What are you going to say when your kids come to you and ask you for something?
Denied.
Say it like you mean it.
Denied.
Say it really like you mean it.
Denied.
Girlfriend, you have nothing to worry about now. Bye-bye. Texas, we're going to Texas now. Okay, Adrian, how are you tonight?
Hi, Susie.
Hi.
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, you sound as perky as they come.
I'm trying.
You're trying.
Well, Susie, I have a situation that I hope you can help me out with.
All right.
I'm currently a science teacher in the public school system. Due to bad decision making, I have approximately $145,000 in private student loan debt with variable interest rates up to 8.9%.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at going to begin my doctorate in 2012 and want to know if it's a good idea to take out the maximum of federal subsidized and unsubsidized loans to pay back some of my larger private loans that my mother co-signed for me. Ideally, I would like to clear my mother of any of her responsibility and put it all on me. What do you think?
All right, so let's first deal with your private student loans. Depending on the financial institution that these loans are from, you have to find out that if you were to die and your mother co-signed for you, is she still responsible for making the payments on those private student loans?
She is.
She is. All right. Do you have a life insurance policy on you?
Yes, I do, and it covers the total amount and then a little more for funeral expenses.
Great.
If something is to happen to me.
And is it a term insurance policy?
Yes, it is.
And you're the owner. You're the owner. Are you the owner of it?
Yes, I am, and she's my only beneficiary.
Got it. All right. So that's great. You've set that up correctly. Everybody watching right now, if you have a private student loan, your parent has co-signed, not all institutions, but many of them, if the person dies, the student happens to die, Mama, Daddy, you are still responsible for making those payments. So just make sure you know what to do. Number one. Number two, you're going to go to get your PhD. How are you going to pay for that if you use these other loans to pay back your private student loans?
For the program I'm in, I would get a total of $20,000 per year for school. My actual courses, including books, would only be about $1,200 a semester. It was then the idea that I would take the excess money from the federal subsidized and unsubsidized loans and pay on to the loans that are co-signed in my mother's name.
All right, so if you don't have to take out more student loans to get your PhD, and you can get subsidized and unsubsidized, I'm here to tell you that's exactly what you should do. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to stay realistic. Because inflating figures, making yourself look better than maybe the situation really is, isn't going to help your situation.
Okay.
What does help your situation is to be honest with me here tonight. Plus, you all remember Lou, don't you? Lou, the stage manager who used to read emails, and then he's not reading emails, and guess what? And later, when wanting something, ask me, can I afford it?
I'd like to buy my husband a Porsche 911 for our 25th anniversary, but I just don't know if we're quite there yet. We have the opportunity to borrow against our 401k and pay ourselves back at a pretty low rate.
Oh, and you think that's a good thing to do. Is that how you're going to be paying for this car? Welcome back, everybody. So here's the question. When is it time to walk away from a home that's underwater? That is the focus tonight of my one-on-one guest. Dusty and Heather are both 29 years old. They both live in Atlanta. Dusty is a logistics manager. I don't even know what that is. But anyway, Heather is a teacher. They're newlyweds. I love that. Now, here it comes, everybody. They both owned homes before they got married. Now, both those homes are underwater. Oh, surprise. And Heather is miserable about it because why? She hates both those houses. So, Dusty, I'm going to go to you first. Tell everyone why you wrote into me.
Hi, yes, Susie. Like you were saying, Heather and I both purchased homes back at the peak of the housing market. Heather, late 2005, me, early 2006. And unfortunately, since that time, both of our houses are about $30,000 underwater as it currently stands. Heather's house we currently live in needs additional repairs to get it to sell, and it's going to cost us approximately $40,000 just to get it ready to sell. So at this point, we're wanting to know what we should do with both of our houses based on our current conditions.
Everybody's probably watching, and they're probably saying, well, $30,000 isn't that much underwater. It is when you look at it as a percentage of the home. Heather, how much do you owe on this home?
I currently own roughly $111,000.
And if you were to turn around and sell the house today, how much would you get for it?
Nowhere near $111,000. A couple have sold like that are up to par for about in the $70,000. So I'm guessing we could probably right now get about $70,000 out of it.
All right, so $70,000 of it, but that's only if it was fixed up. Right, so look at Dusty's little face looking at me. He's like going, what are you talking about, Heather? We're not going to get more than $50,000 for this home. Is that what you're thinking, Dusty?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult for us to pull that figure off, unfortunately.
Yeah, so Heather, here's what I need you to do. I need you to stay realistic. Because inflating figures, making yourself look better than maybe the situation really is, isn't going to help your situation.
Okay.
What does help your situation is to be honest with me here tonight and honest with yourself. The truth is, though, you owe $111,000, and if you could get $50,000 or $60,000 for it, you're about 50% underwater. And
Yes.
the chances of that house ever going back up, especially since you have foreclosures around you, to $111,000 is probably nil over the very near future, or even 10, 11, 12 years from now. It could take a long time. Now, that's number one.
Right.
You're living in that house. Now, Dusty, tell me about your house that you currently have. How much do you owe on it?
Yes, Susie, I owe approximately $145,000.
And what's happening to that house right now?
It is currently being rented out.
For how much per month?
only $600, only half of what I owe.
So you owe $1,200 a month on it, so you are losing $600 a month as a rental.
Correct.
Could you rent it out for more than $600 a month?
I could, but I fear a possible bad tenant, and I've heard horror stories.
And how much more could you get?
Approximately $400 additional per month.
I imagine that you both have tried to do short sales on these homes, and why do I have a feeling that the wonderful banks that have the mortgages to these homes have said, sorry, because you haven't missed payments, because you've been good citizens, you've been paying on these houses, you cannot do a short sale.
Correct. That's absolutely right.
Can somebody just tell me why banks? Why are you forcing people to walk away from houses when they are willing to do short sales without making it so that they don't make payments to you? Have you all just lost your minds? I have said many times, if you have tried with the best of your ability and you cannot get a bank or anybody to reason with you, it then becomes their problem and it is not your problem. But this is not a situation where I want both of you to walk away from your homes.
Okay.
And this is the reason why. Dusty, what is your current FICO score?
I'm at a 704.
All right. And Heather?
I'm in around 700.
All right, around 700. Those are both relatively good FICO scores. I personally would like to see it at 760. If you both walked away from these homes, you just let them go into foreclosure, that's it, no problem there. Your FICO scores are going to be affected dramatically. You would not be surprised if you went to look at your FICO scores and you see them down in the 500 area.
Oh.
Wow.
So here is your plan of action.
All right.
All right. Dusty, you're going to keep your house.
Okay.
And you're going to talk to your current tenant, and you're going to say, you're in a bind. And if this person would like to continue renting this house from you, you need at least $1,000 a month for it. Maybe if you want to go to $900 a month, so maybe it's a deal for that person as well.
All right.
You should. Heather, on the other hand, your house is falling down. The neighborhood has changed. You need to live in a safe neighborhood, and you need to really change your situation. So if I were you, I would stop making payments on this mortgage.
Okay.
Maybe at that time, if you stop making payments on the mortgage, then the loan company will look at you and say, all right, we'll let you do a short sale. Do you have what's called a recourse loan on these properties?
Yes, Georgia is a recourse state.
All right, so you have recourse loans. So it is true that they have the ability to come after you, but you don't have the money. It is not like you are rolling in the dough. I mean, you only have $7,000 of an emergency fund. If they happen to come after you, then you could simply let them come after you. Or if you want, Heather, you could possibly just decide that you claim bankruptcy on this home.
Okay.
It's not like they have anything that they can take from you. So I want you to keep the rental. We made a mistake there. Maybe we'll recover from there. You're not that far underwater in that one. But on the one that the two of you are living in, it's not safe. It doesn't make sense. Nobody's working with you. So take the situation into your own hands. Up next, you can't afford to miss. Can I afford it?
I'm looking to buy a Canon Zoom telephoto lens for my camera.
Oh, here we go again. Also,
I'd like to take my family to a trip to Cambodia to visit my wife's parents. We have $38,000 in liquid savings, $404,000 in retirement.
you're getting a little old there, Jeff. You know that, right?
I try not to think about it.
What do you want to buy?
Porsche 911.
Private pilot flight lessons, a Canon Zoom telephoto lens.
Hello, everybody. Your favorite segment is about to start, the Can I Afford It segment. This is where you call in, you tell me what it is you want to buy. I ask you a few questions, and I will tell you if you can afford it or not. Are you ready? Dorothy, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie.
Hi, Dorothy.
I'd like to buy my husband a Porsche 911 for our 25th anniversary, but I just don't know if we're quite there yet.
So, does he want to drive a Porsche?
This has been his fantasy car since before I met him.
So one of these drives up next to you at a stoplight, and he's just looking at it the whole time as everybody's beeping him, saying the light has now changed 3 times. What should you do? Anyway, Dorothy, let's see if you can afford it or not. Show me the money.
Well, here's the good news. We take home about $15,400 a month. $14,950 of that is our combined income, and then I have a token amount of $450 in music royalties that I get.
Uh-huh.
And then we have expenses as well. We spend about $4,400 a month in household expenses, but we own our home outright.
Love that for you. We are looking good, girlfriend.
Yes, and we have no debt of any kind.
You are so lucky, because I would have just slammed that deny on you before you even knew what hitch upside that Porsche head of yours. But anyway, keep going.
Well, we have about $11,000 in a traditional savings account, and it's low because we used a lot of our money to pay off the house and get out of debt.
Uh-huh.
But I have a coin collection that's worth about $604, and the big egg here is our $652,000 401k.
Big egg, you say. Big
That's our big egg.
You're
yeah.
51. How old is your husband?
53.
53. So you're looking at that egg, and you're thinking that's going to be enough money to generate you enough income for you to live on at the $4,000 a month that you're currently spending. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, we have the opportunity to borrow against our 401k and pay ourselves back at a pretty low rate.
Oh, and you think that's a good thing to do. Is that how you're going to be paying for this car?
Yes, indeed.
You are denied. You're going to borrow from your 401k at 51. Are you kidding me? Jeffrey, what do you want to buy?
Hey, Susie, thanks for taking my call. I'm looking to buy private pilot flight lessons. I've had a passion for flying since I was a little boy, and just want to take it to the next level.
You know, whenever I talk to a pilot who's a private pilot, they fly those little planes around. You know what every one of them says to me? I go, how long you been flying a plane? They go, since a little boy, I've had this passion, Susie. And they could be 60, 70, 75 years of age, and they still love it. Show me the money.
All right, Susie, my monthly take-home is $3,600 a month.
Yeah.
My expenses are $1,526, which includes my monthly rent.
Yeah.
I have no debt, no student loans, own my car outright. My savings is $17,000 in liquid, and I have $6,000 in investments.
Don't you kind of find that funny, everybody, that Jeff actually has more money in savings and really kind of investments than the last caller did? But that's besides the point at the age of 25. And how are you going to pay for this?
Well, it's on a week-by-week basis, so at about $150 per lesson, we're looking at about $600 per month.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it every month for about a year, so that's adding about $600 per month to my expenses, so it's going to be coming directly from my liquid.
Well, you know, that's cutting it a little tight for me, but you have been approved. I want you to do this. I think you'll love it. If you've wanted to do it since you're a little boy, why not do it when you become a real man? Not that at 25 you're not a real man, but, well, I don't know you that well, but you've been approved. Anyway, Dave, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie.
Hi, Dave.
Hi. Yes, I'm looking to buy a Canon Zoom telephoto lens for my camera.
Oh, here we go again. Every time somebody calls in and they want to buy a $1,600 camera or a lens for it or whatever, I go, can't you just get one of those little things for a few $100s? But okay, I'm open. You want to spend $1,600 just on the lens. How come?
Well, Susan, my family is very active. My wife plays basketball. My brother plays baseball, and my sister runs marathons. So having a lens like this would give me the opportunity to capture those moments for them.
So to really zoom in tight and get right up in their face when they're making a basket or whatever it may be, right?
Exactly.
Boyfriend, show me the money.
Okay. My wife and I combined take-home income is $7,975 a month.
Great.
Our expenses are $3,906 a month.
Loving it.
We do have a little bit of debt. We own our own home. We have a 30-year fixed mortgage for $204,000.
You can afford that. Yeah.
We have $20,000 in student loans and $25,000 in student loans that is deferred to 2013.
Yeah.
We have some savings, $30,000 in liquid, $38,000 in investments, and our combined retirement portfolios are at around $76,000.
And you are 28 years of age?
Yes.
28, and you have all that. Let me make this easy. I won't even pretend here. You have been approved. Right?
Oh,
you have the money to do this. Both you and your wife have been responsible. I get why you want a zoom lens. You obviously have the equipment that it will go on. Boyfriend, I'm proud of you. Jeff, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie.
Hi, Jeff.
I'd like to take my family to a trip to Cambodia to visit my wife's parents.
And has your family ever met your wife's parents?
My wife's parents have never met me, or they have not met my new baby.
Oh, so they're good. So this is going to be a real first for them, yes?
Yes.
I love that. So show me the money.
We have a combined monthly income of $6,301.
Yeah.
Expenses of $4,679.
Yeah.
A 30-year fixed mortgage with $145,000 remaining.
All right.
And an $18,000 car loan.
And savings?
We have $38,000 in liquid savings.
Mm-hmm.
$21,000 in investments.
Yeah.
And $404,000 in retirement.
You do. At the age of 45, you're getting a little old there, Jeff. You know that, right?
I try not to think about it.
But you're getting up there. Once you start getting 50, 60, it starts, retirement planning needs to be really focused on here. Here's the thing. How are you going to pay for it?
It would have to come out of savings.
So then that brings us down to what? $28,000, correct?
Yes.
And we need about $36,000 in your savings for you to have 8 months of an emergency, don't we?
Yes.
So what does you think that makes me gonna say?
Denied.
So, my dear Jeff, I know it's important for parents to see the kids, to meet you, to grandchildren, but listen, you have been approved.
Really?
Yes, and the reason that you're approved is it will not take you long to replace that money because you're making more than what you're spending. I think it's important that parents, I say people first, then money, then things. I do think in this situation it's important that a grandparent sees their grandchild, meet you and the whole thing. Boyfriend, have a good time. Aren't you surprised? Anyway, Joe, what do you want to buy?
Hi. Hi, Susie.
Hi, Joe.
I'd like to buy the Google Android tablet. It's $100. I'd like to buy this because I own a small landscaping business, and I think that this could help me organize myself and keep track of who paid and who didn't and schedule. And it can also help me with schoolwork. And I'd like to buy this because recently I had my DS and my MP3 player stolen at the beach. And this would cost less than replacing both of them. And I can also go on the web, play games, and listen to music. So it's kind of like it's more for less than the price.
And Joe, how old are you?
I'm 12.
And how long have you wanted this?
I've wanted this for about 3 months.
So you've been watching and watching. And what's prevented you from buying it as soon as you knew you wanted it?
Well, I had to save up. I had to make sure I have enough money in case there's something I needed to get. And I had to make sure in case there's something or there's a problem with like my equipment, I needed to make sure I had the money to cover it before I was able to buy anything else.
I'm loving you, boyfriend. Show me the money.
Okay, so for income, I have $50 a month.
Yeah.
I have no expenses.
None.
I have no debt.
None.
And I have $900 in liquid savings.
And so you're going to take $100 from your $900 to buy this?
Yes.
You are, and guess what? You have been approved. I love how you think. I love how you've been patient. I love how you worked for your own money. None of this was birthday. None of this was, it was all done by you. You have a reason you want it. I love you. I'm going to say that again. You're approved. You're approved. You're probably in better financial shape than all the other people I approve. Want to be part of the Can I Afford It segment? All you have to do is go to my website, SuzeOrman.com, and you will find the information that you need to know there to come and play with me right here. Next, I tackled trending topics in Ask Suze.
He suggested a variable deferred annuity that had a guaranteed minimum income benefit rider of 5%.
We'll do it together, right? 1, 2, 3. Are you kidding? And later, Lou is now a father. How's it feel to be a papa bear?
It feels great, but I gotta say, Lil's taking on most of the challenge in these first few weeks by herself.
Women kinda do. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Here we are in the control room of CNBC headquarters. It's a lot of fun here. Don't you want to join me? Don't you want to ask me a question? Here's how you can be part of the Suze Orman Show. You can go and send me an email. You can tweet me. You can join Facebook. Or if you really want us to see your questions right away, simply send a tweet with hashtag AskSuze, and we'll see them all in one spot. Let's see what's trending right now. All right, from Jim Church, 91. He wants to know, how do you invest in a municipal bond? Well, here's the problem. If you have to ask that question, it concerns me. A municipal bond, obviously, is a debt instrument issued by a municipality. You are lending a government agency, a city, something like that, your money. They give you a specific interest rate. Here's the problem. Many of these cities are going bankrupt right now. Many of these states are in financial trouble. Got that? So you really have to know what you're doing. So if you even have to answer that question, it scares me. But normally you would purchase a municipal bond through a financial advisor. When you buy this municipal bond, the commission for it is built right in. And you can kind of tell by the yield that they give you. So if you're buying a bond, XYZ, and it pays you 5% tax-free, you might want to call a few other brokerage firms. They might have that exact same bond. And if they're paying 5.25% or 5.1%, you know that one of those brokers is taking more of a commission than the others. If you don't have a lot of money, you're better off really thinking about not buying individual bonds, but I wouldn't be buying a bond fund at this time either. Find another investment. So be careful, because municipal bonds, you need to know what you are doing. Let's see what else we want to find out. From JMW 1072, I want to buy a house for a rental property for income. Should I wait another year? Oh, JMW, if you only told me, where do you live? What state? Do you have enough money? Do I think that we are in a double-dip recession when it comes to real estate? Yeah, I do. Do I think that real estate's going to go anywhere? No, I don't. Do I think that interest rates are going to start to go up? No, I don't either. So you don't have to rush. What do you have to do? You have to make sure that if you're buying a rental property, that you have enough money as working capital. Look at it as a business, so that if you rent it out, now you rent it out to a loser. They can't afford to pay their rent to you for whatever reason. Are you going to have enough money to pay your mortgage even though you don't have the income coming in? You better be able to carry that for 1 year. The mortgage payment, the property taxes, the insurance, and the maintenance. Got it? If you don't have that, can you just do me a favor and stay away from rental property? All right, let's go to the webcam right now where we have Callista coming to us from Ohio. What you need to know, my love?
How are you?
I'm fabulous, thank you.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Ask me your question.
I am transitioning from an employer that had a pension. I didn't quite make the years for the investment period, so I've been discussing retirement options with my financial planner. He suggested a variable deferred annuity that had a guaranteed minimum income benefit rider of 5%. And I wanted to get your thoughts on someone in their mid-30s, if this type of annuity made sense for me.
All right, so you're in your mid-30s. Have you been watching the Suze Orman Show more than just tonight?
I have.
For how long have you been watching the Suze Orman Show?
For quite some time.
All right, so have you ever noticed that when somebody calls in and they ask me about variable annuities, have you ever seen my reaction? Can you kind of imitate me when somebody says variable annuities? Can you just kind of show me? All right, so let's do it. We'll do it together, right? 1, 2, 3. Are you kidding? So why do you think I would answer any differently than that? For a retirement plan, you would much better off being, how much were you going to put in this variable annuity?
About $50,000.
In one lump sum?
Yeah, it was going to, I have a traditional IRA.
And you were going to do a rollover or a transfer from your traditional IRA into this variable annuity, correct?
And it would as he explained it, it was going to remain within that, and the thing was this guaranteed minimum income benefit rider.
Here, wait, Callista, let me ask you something here. When this was suggested to you, how did you feel when this person was saying, Callista, take all $50,000, not $5,000, but take 100% of your retirement and put it into a variable annuity? How did that make you feel?
The way the plan was presented, it sounded like it had some options, but I thought it wasn't worth quite the risk. I would have to essentially bet that the market would only do 3% over time.
Here's what I would say to you. Let me just make this simple. I would find myself a new financial advisor. Are you kidding me? To buy a variable annuity within an IRA is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. You should be buying exchange-traded funds. You should be buying possibly corporate bonds. You could be buying individual stocks that give you a high dividend yield of more than 5%. You can do so many things. I can't even tell you. You could get the 5% and growth. So to do a variable annuity is absolutely nuts, nuts, nuts. Do you got that?
I got it.
All right, do me one more thing. What are you going to say to this financial advisor?
Are you kidding?
That's my girl. You got it, sweetheart. All right, everybody, when we come back, I'm going to talk to you about all the money you can save if you slow it down on fast foods. I get it, everybody. Nobody loves fast food more than me. Every time I drive past it, I'm like, ah, and I have to keep myself from going in. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Welcome back, everybody. You know I sit here every weekend and I talk to you about being wealthier when it comes to your money. But it's not just about wealth. Every single one of you needs to be healthier and wealthier, if you ask me. Now, haven't I been telling you that the cost of healthcare is skyrocketing? And because of that, you have to count every penny and make every single one of those pennies count. So here's my question to you. What are you doing to save as much money as you possibly can on the cost of staying healthy? Why do I think that you could do a whole lot better when it comes to what you eat? I have forever been telling you that food prices are going up and will continue to go up in 2012. Your money's not going as far in the supermarket, so instead of eating at home, what do? You decide to be smart and you go and do cheap, fast food. Now, you may think that you're saving money, but in the long run, it is possible it's going to cost you much more. You know, fast food can lead to obesity, which is directly related to heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes, all which adds up to higher medical costs. And it's not as cheap as you think. The cost of eating out adds up fast. Do you guys remember Scott and Martha? They were on the show last summer.
Going through the drive-thru one time with the kids cost me about $20. I keep saying that's not going to break me. That's not why we're struggling. But if you multiply it times a couple times a day or once a day, every day, it starts to add up.
So Martha, can you believe it? She was spending $1,000 a month just taking the kids to the drive-thru. That was an eye-opener. But I really want every one of your eyes to be open. Can you just join me in this action plan that I'm about to give you? I'm just simply asking you for just 1 month, not a big deal, just 1 month. Can you stop eating out? Can you just make your dinners at home? Can you bring your lunches to work? At the end of the month, I want you to see how much money have you saved, but more important, how much weight have you lost and how much better you feel. I get it, everybody. Nobody loves fast food more than me. I love my Taco Bell. I love my Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know that about me. Every time I drive past it, I'm like, ah, and I have to keep myself from going in because I love those. But it is important that you learn how to eat healthy. So why? You can also be wealthy. Up next, one more thing that I want you to know. I think he's the spitting image of you.
You think? Somebody said he has her eyes, but he's got my bags.
Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. All right, everybody, before we end this show tonight, there's still one more thing that I want you to know. You all remember Lou, don't you? Lou, the stage manager who used to read emails, and then he's not reading emails. And the last time we saw Lou, he told us that his wife Lil was pregnant, and and guess what? They had a baby. Lou, come in here.
Yay!
Lou is now a father. Can you believe that? Should we show everybody little Teddy and what Teddy looks like? Come on. Where's that little Teddy?
Oh, look at that guy.
Look at that. You see, I think he's the spitting image of you.
You think? Somebody said he has her eyes, but he's got my bags.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. I think that's right. But he was early, huh?
Yeah, 30 days early, but perfectly healthy.
How long did it take to come out?
It's like 2 hours.
You
It was
do
really
things fast,
quick.
right?
Without getting into the details,
All
it
right,
was quick.
how's it feel to be a Papa Bear?
It feels great, but I gotta say, Lil's taking on most of the challenge in these first few weeks by herself.
Women kind of do you know
She's
that?
amazing. She's
Yeah?
the most amazing mother and wife. She's doing an amazing job.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
So, listen, I got something
Oh,
for little
oh.
Teddy. KT and I got something for her.
You didn't have to. Yeah, you did.
No,
You
we did. I said to KT, let's give him money. And KT said, no, he doesn't know what to do with it. No,
What?
just joking, right? But go on, take a look.
Let's see what we got here.
What do you got? This is in case you want to return it.
Oh, cute.
All right, so what is this? All right, this is so little Teddy can be like you. So you know how you normally wear a shirt?
Yeah, I used to.
And I think so.
Right.
Look, all right, look what we got here. Here's a little shirt for Teddy with an undershirt so it can look like this.
Nice.
Lou is always in blue jeans. So here's little dungarees for little Teddy. So little Teddy can be exactly like Papa Lou. Do you see this is what you look like?
Look how small this stuff is.
Can you believe that? Can you try it on?
Yeah, hold on.
See if it can fit.
I'll try
Now,
it later.
this would fit your head. That's about it, right? What do you think?
That's very nice.
Aw,
Thank
pretty
you. And
good.
KT, thank you as well.
I know. All right, I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
All right, well,
All right.
you stay right here with
Okay.
me because you can do this with me now.
I
Well,
can.
that brings us to the end of this show. Things happen in people's life. You go from being single to married, married with no kids to married with one kid. I'm sure a few years from now, Lou will be having 2 kids, 3 kids. You have to know what to do with money to take care of all this stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So what do you want to tell them? Until next week, is there one thing they should know?
Yeah, there's one thing you should know.
What should that be, Lou?
People first, then money, then things. Now you be safe. Thanks.
Aw.